So hello everyone. I'm going to talk about something that I personally found very shocking the first time I realized it. And well, nowadays most of us have Facebook or any other social network accounts. But what most people do not know is that your bank can deny you a credit based on the information that you have on your Facebook account. And not only based on your own information, but based on the information of your friends. And think about it, if some of your friends have problems paying their credits, well, you are in the same circle, so you may have more problems to pay your credit than other people. And banks can use this information for this kind of decisions. But it is not only the information that you have on your Facebook account. In fact, the International Monetary Fund suggested not long ago that in the future, your credit score may be based on your web browsing history. And how do companies know your web browsing history? Well, in fact, there are multiple ways to collect this information directly from the website. They are the so-called web tracking techniques, and they are present in more than 95% of the websites. So please, at this moment, assume that many companies do know everything that you are doing online, but this information is not only used for evaluating your credit score. Let's put another example. It's also used for your insurance coverage. Yeah. So, well, in fact, if you do a risky sport, you have more probability of dying than other people. So your insurance company can use this information to deny you some coverage. But this showcases the importance of your own online private data. But this is not only important for your own privacy, but also from the cybersecurity point of view. And it has been found that cybercrime groups buy this data from online services to select their targets for their phishing and hacking campaigns. And what do they usually look for? Well, they usually look for information about executive people from different companies that has key access to key systems inside their companies. And well, unfortunately, it has been found that almost all of them have information in those online services. And very important information like your family, your relatives, even the IP address of your home network, not your office, but your home network. So they can try to focus on your specific router to hack it, to get your credentials or your personal email address for their phishing campaigns. And now I'm going to present our solution to this problem. It is called ePrivo.eu. And it is a web service where anybody can just look for a website, and it will give you information about how privacy-friendly is that website. And it's a still in beta phase, but it will give you a lot of information about the web tracking methodologies being used in the background or web tracking resources in the website. But let me comment here that blocking web tracking is not so hard once you know what to block. In fact, probably many of you use an ad blocker that at some extent can block these kind of things. But the most difficult thing is to find unknown web tracking. And to find unknown web tracking, ePrivo uses two state-of-the-art methodologies that I'm going to try to explain here very briefly. And it is more complex than this, but first let's assume that we have all the website code of all the websites partitioned in different code portions. And this is one of those code portions. What we do is to look for all the websites that contain this specific code portion. And we find it in several websites. But looking into detail on those files and those URLs, we notice that we already know that most of them are tracking the user. So most probably this specific piece of code is being used to track the user. But then what happens with the other websites that we don't have information about? Well, if they're using this specific code, they are also tracking the user. So we can automatically classify them as trackers, and this is the way that we find unknown web tracking. And finally, let me comment that we have tried to get support for this research in many different venues and many times with no luck, unfortunately. So, but we do really believe that we can implement these methodologies inside a browser so we can transparently help to protect everyone's privacy. So if any of you is willing to support us or knows has contact with some company that it may be interested, please contact us in this email or talk with me after the session. Thank you for all your attention.